Hey everyone, look who it is. It is Donald Driver. I'm here with FanDuel's More Ways to Win with my girl Lisa and the guys. We'll see you guys soon.
That's what I'm talking about. What us football fans. Super wild card weekend is here. Former Green Bay Packer Donald Driver is hyped for these playoffs, and so are we. Friend of the show there. Thanks for all of you for joining us and hanging out with us today. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I am Lisa Kerney, inviting you inside the FanDuel Sportsbook here at the Meadowlands. We've got 6 games coming up in 3 days. Our NFL experts are breaking them all down for you here. These first-round games revealing their best bets, and we're even giving out best value DFS plays as well. It is go time, so make sure you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for your new account, plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000. You're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. All right, let's get right into it and kick off these games. The first matchup on the schedule here, the 5th-seeded Raiders travel to Cincinnati to take on the 4th-seeded Bengals. Kickoffs at 4:30 Eastern time on Saturday. Hey, the Bengals were able to rest many of their starters last week, including rookie sensation Jamar Chase. We saw him do it. The wide receiver played only the first quarter and broke the Bengals' single-season receiving record with 1,455 yards. Good on Chase there. Completely opposite scenario for the Raiders, who went into overtime before beating the Chargers 35-32, and quite possibly the best game of the year, which also clinched that last playoff spot for them. Bengals are 4.5-point favorites in this matchup. Dave and Ed, got to get you guys in here. It is playoff time. Let's get your picks here. Dave, you first. Which side are you backing here?
I like the Raiders. Who's hotter than the Raiders right now in the NFL? They were coming into the playoffs winning 4 straight games, many of them close. So they know how to win these close games. The key to me for this late season push for the Raiders has been Josh Jacobs. You know, he was kind of in a mid-season lull when they played the Bengals earlier this year. I certainly wouldn't base my pick on that result because the Bengals did pull away late in that game, but Jacobs didn't do much. But the last 3 weeks, second best in the NFL, 108 rushing yards a game. And when the Raiders go for 150 on the ground in their next game, 7 straight times they've covered the spread. So I think they can come in here and sneak out a win going to Cincinnati, who, by the way, last time they won a playoff game, you know who scored the first touchdown?
I don't.
Ickey Woods.
Ickey Woods.
1991. I mean, this is a lot of burden for these young guys to carry for the city of Cincinnati.
Can you do the Ickey shuffle?
Cannot.
You cannot?
I wouldn't even try it.
You can do it. You can.
The camera on me.
I know you can do the Ickey shuffle. I promise. There will be Twitter video of this. First off, I think the Bengals, as far as individual performances are concerned, I think they have been a little bit hotter than the Raiders. But let's do a little bit of math here because I think this is important. First off, by resting some of the key guys, it almost functions as like a bye week. And so I feel like the rest advantage does matter in here. I think that's worth roughly a point. Home field advantage has been on a major uptick over these last few weeks. So now it's back to roughly 2.5, so that's 3.5 now. And then on a neutral field, I'd say the Bengals are 1.5 better than the Raiders minimum. So that gets you to 5. And so add all of it up, and I'm comfortable taking the Bengals here. Ickey shuffle time.
Let's not forget, guys, this Raiders offense, though, it has struggled. Over the last 6 games, they've averaged 19 points per game. Maybe that factored in. By the way, that ranks 23rd in the NFL. They snuck into this one, Cole. I want to get the right take from you, our NFL expert, joining us from Chicago, as always. Cole, which team wins this one and by how many points?
Well, I don't know. Joe Burrow and company are going to be able to cut that meat like Ickey Woods at the cold cut counter. But either way, I'm going to piggyback on what Dave said because the last time the Raiders won a playoff game, I was in college. The last time Cincy won a postseason matchup, well, I had a closet full of silver tab jeans and rayon shirts. Now, when it comes to both of these teams, they're pretty evenly matched, despite what a lot of people are saying right about now. Both offenses just outside of the top 10 and both with average defenses, 14th and 18th respectively for Vegas and Cincy. Now, the Raiders' passing attack, just a hair ahead of Cincinnati, but neither team runs the ball with authority despite Josh Jacobs coming to life the last 3 games. So my tiebreaker, well, it's going to rest solely on that leadership role of quarterback. And in this game, I'm siding with Derek Carr over Joe Burrow. Raiders, 24-21 here.
Okay. Now, if you do roll with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals, you fade Cole there, and you give the points a winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $93. Again, it is the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Let's move on here to this next game because we got a great matchup here. Now to the late Saturday game featuring two AFC East rivals, the Patriots, the 6th seed, taking on that 3rd-seeded Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Kickoff, 8:15 Eastern time. Josh Allen became the first quarterback to throw for at least 4,000 yards and rush for at least 750 in a single season. Bills have leaned on him, and it is working. As for the Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones, he has definitely struggled down the stretch, even calling his performance in their loss to Miami last week, quote, super embarrassing. Patriots are giving 4, but former Packers wide receiver Donald Driver says New England reminds him of the Super Bowl winning Packers team that he played for. Listen to this.
I mean, think about us when we were the underdogs. We was the 6th seed, we went on the road, and we had to win every game to get to the Super Bowl. That ended up winning the Super Bowl. So I think the Patriots have the exact same thing, right? They're the underdogs. No one believed that they would even be in the playoffs at this moment, but they are. And they have a great coaching staff over there. Bill Belichick's proved it every single year that he can step up to the plate.
Green Bay Packers all-time leading receiver right there. Awesome having Donald on the show with us. Guys, Patriots are giving 4. Pony, who do you like here?
I think Bills -4 stealing, honestly. I think this is the biggest quarterback mismatch in the wild card round, bigger than Mahomes, Roethlisberger, or Brady Hurts. Josh Allen, there are stats out there, Ed could give them to you, that he's the best rusher in the NFL. Better than Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry on a per-touch basis. Mac Jones, Bill Belichick doesn't even believe in him, Dave. I mean, look at what he did in Buffalo earlier this year, only 3 pass attempts. He didn't want to trust him to throw the ball down the stretch, all the turnovers. I think the Bills are going to run away with this game.
Yeah, Donald Driver definitely didn't have Mac Jones as his quarterback. The rookie quarterbacks just don't win playoff games. It's just very simple. Lamar Jackson couldn't do it. Dak couldn't do it. Andrew Luck couldn't do it. The last rookie quarterback, to lead their team to a playoff win was Russell Wilson, and that was 9 years ago. There's way too much pressure here for this guy. That's, as you said, he's not as good as Josh Allen, not even close. But the great thing for me that Buffalo has done lately is establish a number 1 running back, because early in the year, platooning, who's their number 1 guy? Devin Singletary has taken over 2 touchdowns the first 14 games. 5 touchdowns the last 4 games, 19 carries or more, 3 out of the last 4. So I love that he's saying, look, give me the ball. I'm your guy. I'm with you. I think Buffalo is the play here.
Go ahead and lay those points. All right, guys, thank you. And you know what time it is. We are breaking down this playoff game using next-gen stats to get an analytical perspective on this matchup. One of my favorite segments in the show. Got to bring in my guy, Ed. You're our analytics guy. Give us a next-gen stat that you're using to help us pick this New England-Buffalo game.
Well, this matchup is a little tricky to handicap because of familiarity and perhaps the wacky weather from that first meeting, but the most recent game, the second matchup this season, that to me is telling. Here's Josh Allen's pass chart from the Bills' victory over the Pats. 314 passing yards may seem like a solid day, but Josh Allen's completion percentage over expected was negative 2.6%, despite that his receivers were open more than 63% of the time. That tells me that New England disguised coverage is enough to keep Allen from having a monster day. Allen's receivers dropped 3 passes, and he was pressured more than 27% of the time, which is about average. Weather reports will matter in a game like this. The line is pretty sharp, but from where it is right now, I'm going to lay the points and back Buffalo.
Okay, sounds like a clean sweep right now on this show. Awesome stuff. Next level info from Next Gen Stats and our guy, Ed. If you want to tail Ed, also like the Bills at home, giving those points a winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $95. And a reminder, you can make your first bet on the app risk-free. Just sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account using that promo code right there. It is More Ways 1000. You're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Again, that promo code More Ways 1000 will be on the show, on the screen, right there all show long. Now, those are both of the Saturday matchups on the slate. There are 4 more games this Super Wildcard weekend. You know we're going to bet them all in just a few moments, so hang tight for that. So far, we have focused on the spread, but as you all know, there are a ton of different and fun bets that you can make on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, and you can do it right now. So, guys, I want to bring you in here and have you give me your single favorite bet on the board for these Saturday games. We're going to get around the horn here. Dave, you're going to start us off. Who do you like? What do you like?
Yeah, we're going to go to the Bengals and the Raiders game. I found a special here that involves Jamar Chase and Darren Waller to combine for 175 yards. Waller's best game this year came in Week 11 against the Bengals. He had 116 yards. Let's say he gets 100. We're only going to need 75 from Chase. To me, this seems like a very good bet at plus 175 odds.
For the Raiders to have any chance against the Bengals, I got to believe that Darren Waller is going to have a much bigger impact on this offense than he has. Certainly seems like he's healthy enough to be comfortable in this offense, so that matters. The Bengals have struggled containing tight ends, so Darren Waller, anytime touchdown for plus 180.
This is my favorite weekly special bet for the wild card weekend, and that is the Patriots to be the lowest scoring team. Look, we're not seeing Tom Brady walk through that door. Bill Belichick hasn't won a playoff game without Brady since 1994. The Bills come in with the #1 defense in the NFL. Lowest scoring, look at that, plus 490.
Yes, great stuff. All that plus money. I love that. Those are their best bets for the Saturday games, but you know there is so much more. Log on to the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Find out the bets that you think have the best value. It's what we're always looking for here. And when you're placing that first bet, be sure you plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get that risk-free bet up to $1,000. All right, y'all, before we get to the rest of the games here on the Wild Card Weekend slate, we're going to give our DFS players a little love here. Yep, we're stacking your roster to help you win cash. FanDuel's hooking up our fans with millions in prizes for free. We do it every single week. Just head to FanDuel.com, sign up for the weekly DFS contest, get your friends, your family, your coworkers, people you don't even know. Just compete each week. Just sign up, set your roster, play, and win. Of course, our job here on More Ways to Win is to help you score points. So we turned our senior writer and editor for Number Fire, Jim Sonis. Jim, who are your best value plays here for this slate?
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, the Saturday-only slate is pretty strapped for value, but I do think there are some guys who can work for sure. That starts with Zay Jones at $5,300. Despite Darren Waller being back on Sunday, Jones still had 8 targets in that game. You look at just the games Waller has played since their bye week, Jones has a 31% share of the team's deep targets in that time. So some flukiness for sure in the way things could distribute here for Zay Jones, but I do still think he is a worthwhile option. I am also on Devin Singletary once again at $6,900 because they refused to jack his salary up. Singletary has 97 yards from scrimmage per game in his 5 games as the Bills lead back. They're facing the Patriots. The weather could be pretty cold. I think Singletary makes sense once again. Finally, going back to that Raiders versus Bengals game, Tee Higgins is $6,900. I think that is too low for the role that he has. Sure, Jamar Chase has the better role overall, but Chase also comes with a very high salary. Tee Higgins does not. For $6,900, 24% target share in games with Chase since the returns of Tee Higgins. A standout again at $6,900, although we do want to get some Jamar Chase in there for sure as well.
Jim, awesome. You always crush it. There you have it. Go to FanDuel.com, sign up for free DFS competitions right now and each week of this NFL season. Go ahead and use Jim's information for a chance to win millions in prizes. Follow on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Sonis and hit up his podcast as well, the Heat Check Fantasy Podcast on Apple Podcasts. Let's get back to our game previews now and focus on the Sunday schedule. And we're starting with the 7th-seeded Eagles taking on Tom Brady and the 2nd-seeded Tampa Bay Bucks. This game in Tampa. It is the first game of the day. This one's scheduled to kick off at 1 o'clock Eastern time. This is a rematch of the Week 6 Thursday night game, that one in Philly. And in that one, Tampa Bay jumped out to a 28-7 lead, held on to eventually win it 28-15. The Eagles were 2-4 after that loss, but went ahead and ran it, finished the year 7-4, earned the final playoff spot in the NFC. So here we are in this matchup. The Eagles, 8.5-point road dogs at the Buccaneers. Ed, the Bucs defend their Super Bowl title this week. Here it is. Do they cover that number?
I think they do here in large part because I think we know what to expect from Tom Brady, no doubt about that. So then the question is, can Jalen Hurts keep up with Mr. Brady? And to me, I don't think that's going to happen. Even though Jalen Hurts is one of the great mobile quarterbacks in football right now, in fact, he's 3rd in rushing success rate among quarterbacks at greater than 56%. The problem is he's going up against a defense that is outstanding stopping the run. 3rd best in EPA per rush defense against quarterbacks at -0.08. So it is better for Jalen Hurts to be a thrower. That's going to make things a little bit limiting as far as what this offense can do. Also going to be a weather game, and so can the passing attack happen in the first place with potential rain, potential wind? So to me, the Bucs can cover those.
Well, nobody ran the ball in the regular season more than the Philadelphia Eagles. 32.4 times a game they ran. They had a lot of success, but welcome to playoff football. When you go and play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're not going to be able to find that success. Last year in the wild card round, the Bucs held Antonio Gibson to 31 yards. When they played the Packers, they held Aaron Jones to 27 yards. So they're going to be able to shut down these running backs that did have some success in the regular season. Whole different ball game here as we get to the playoffs. Speaking of running backs, Leonard Fournette taken off of the injured reserve. They missed him for the final 3 weeks of the season. And I don't know why it seems like the Bucs are like limping into the playoffs, but they won 7 out of their last 8. So they actually come in with a ton of momentum. I think they shut down the running game and win very easily.
I think it's an easy game to bet, an easy game to watch here. The second game today featuring a matchup between two historic NFC teams. We've got the 6th-seeded Niners in Dallas taking on the 3rd-seeded Cowboys. Let's get into this one. These two franchises have won a combined 10 Super Bowls, 5 each, but the last one was all the way back in that 1995 season. This year, the Niners defense ranked 3rd in yards allowed, while the Dallas offense ranked 1st in yards gained. It is going to be a great matchup. And then there's this. Former Packers wide receiver Donald Driver says, do not sleep on that Cowboys defense and rookie linebacker Micah Parsons. Listen to this.
He's the heart and soul of that defense. So if he plays well, the defense plays well. And because he's going to get pass rush to the quarterback, that's going to make the quarterback do things that he don't want to do, and that allows them to develop. And so the offense is just solid.
No doubt. D coordinator Dan Quinn has done big things with that defense. It's been fun to watch them evolve. Dave, Parsons in that Dallas D, 3-point home favorites in this matchup. Who do you like here?
I like the Cowboys. This is a very surprisingly small line to me at home taking on the 49ers, and it's only 3. I thought I'd be closer to 5 myself. That Dallas defense will force Jimmy G into making some mistakes. Garoppolo's thrown 4 interceptions in his last 2 games. Dallas has the most picks in the league with 26. 5 of those return for touchdowns. So the running defense for Dallas, it's not the best in the league, but it's not the worst. They're right down the middle. They're 16th, but good enough to be able to make the passing game beat them. And I don't think that the Niners have the passing game to do that. Cowboys, by the way, covered more games than anybody in the league this year, 13-4. I think they get it done.
I think the Cowboys offense stops the 49ers run game. I think Dallas is going to score so many points that it's going to force Jimmy Garoppolo to have to make plays. Dallas has scored more than 50 points in 2 out of their last 3 games. Now, they were against cupcake teams, but we know that they've got their weapons now, both running backs, Elliott, Pollard, wide receivers, Lamb, Cooper, Wilson, Jarwin's back at tight end. I mean, they're loaded. So I think that's going to be the issue for San Francisco. They want to ride Elijah Mitchell, but if they're down, the clock is the enemy, and I think that's the way the Cowboys cover the spread.
Let's get to this late game on Sunday between the 7th-seeded Steelers and the number 2 seed, my Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, this one going down in Kansas City, kickoff 8:15 Eastern time. These two just saw each other in Week 16. That game also in Kansas City. Chiefs were up 30-0 in the 3rd quarter before closing it out 36-10. That was the Steelers' only loss in their last 4 games. They gave up only just over 13 points per game, and those other 3 all wins. The Chiefs were the 4th highest scoring team in the league, averaging more than 28 points per game. Kansas City is giving 12.5 points in this matchup. Pony, I've got the smirk on my face. You're the sports radio voice in Pittsburgh. This is you and me, man. Head to head here. Kansas City girl, you do your thing. Can the Steelers keep it within 12.5? And did I mention it is a 12.5 point spread?
Yeah, you did twice, and it's the biggest in wild card history. But the thing that the Steelers have going for them is that they have the best player in this game. It's not Patrick Mahomes, not Travis Kelce. It's T.J. Watt, who is the best defensive player in the entire NFL. Is 22.5 sacks. He only had 1 tackle in the game 3 weeks ago. Why? Because he had a rib injury and only played 50% of the plays. I can guarantee you, with a 3rd-string right tackle, he will wreak havoc. Is it enough for the Steelers to win the game? Probably not, but they will put a scare into the Chiefs and cover the spread.
Well, Pony, I tell you what, the pedal's starting to fall off those congratulatory bouquets down in Duval County after the Jags helped the Steelers sneak in after they went out there and beat the Colts. Now, this, I think, is going to be the end of the road for Pittsburgh, Big Ben, and Coach T. Now, they haven't won a playoff game since 2006. That was versus KC, but in a 2-point victory, things have changed a whole lot in 5+ years. The Chiefs, when you take a look at what they've done, body of work over the last 10 games, victorious in 9 of those last 10. And in those 10 games, they're averaging 29.2 points per. And get a load of this, Ed, I know you love numbers. So when it comes to the Steelers, they've only scored 29 or more all season long twice. A win versus the Bears and a loss versus the Bolts. So I think it would be a wise decision if you loaded up on KC. 31-17, they win.
Yeah, they'll certainly need those points at Arrowhead. Thank you, Cole. That is a look at the 3 Sunday games, but it is super wild card weekend, so that means there's one more game this round. We're going to give you our expert analysis on that one in just a couple of moments. But first, I want to wrap up the Sunday games by getting a best bet from each of our experts here. So, guys, remember, this is just for the Sunday games. Give me your best bet on the board. Dave, you first. Who do you like on Sunday?
I'm going to play the team total. If you go to the Eagles and the Bucks and you click on more wagers, look for the home team total. It's going to be 28 points. I think the Bucks score way more than that. Go back to last year's playoffs. They scored 30 or more in every single postseason game. This year, 7 out of their last 8 games, they hit that 28 points or higher. So Bucks to score at least 28.
I think the Bucks could score more than 28 points, but that means I'm going to do an alternate total for the entire game because I do feel like that defensive touchdowns could possibly happen. Yeah, I know it's going to be a weather game in all likelihood, but defensive touchdowns could happen, and the Eagles could pass a good bit more to try and keep up. So I want an alternate total over 53.5 for 2-1 odds.
This is a really fun weekly rookie special for the wild card. We've got Micah Parsons and Elijah Mitchell, a touchdown for Mitchell and a sack for Parsons. Parsons, 13 sacks in 16 games, so he averages more than a sack per game or close to a sack per game. And for Elijah Mitchell, look, last 5 games, more than 20 touches. So he is now the bell cow back. I think the payout there, plus 300, is a very good value play.
Yes, I love that play. Plus 300 there. Thank you, guys. Tail those picks or find your own bets to make right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Remember, if you are placing your first bet, be sure to plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get that risk-free bet up to $1,000. All right, it is, as we all know, the biggest and best time of the year, football fans. So make sure you're partying in the best spot, which is right here at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not only can you place your bets in person live here, you can also enjoy 2 levels of bars, food service, dozens of massive screens, playing all the games so you can bet and watch your favorite teams and players right here with us. The FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. Grab your friends, your family, get here for an awesome time this weekend, today, any day of the week. The FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands is open 7 days a week. And now to those bright lights on Monday night. And the 5th-seeded Cardinals are in Los Angeles to take on the 4th-seeded Rams. Kickoff 8:15 Eastern time. These two teams, you guys, you know this, they know each other well. It's an NFC West matchup. They split their division series this year, and the home team lost each game. The Cardinals were off to a hot start. We saw them lose 4 of their last 5 to end the season. Meanwhile, the Rams won 5 of their last 6 to win the division. Los Angeles giving 3.5 points in this one. Pony, which side do you like here?
Well, I don't like the way either team is playing, and I really don't like the way either quarterback is playing. So in a matchup like that, I'm going to take the points, plus 3.5. Dave, I know you loved the Rams before the season. I don't know how you still can with the way Matthew Stafford is playing. I am so far away from the Matthew Stafford bandwagon now. I'm not even in the same zip code. 2 second-half interceptions again last week, and the game ender. I don't believe in the guy, so I'm taking Arizona.
He's still been an upgrade from Jared Goff. He's putting them in a position to make a deep run towards the Super Bowl. I'm okay with it, and I think he's going to be able to score on this Arizona defense that has not looked good the last 6 weeks. They've given up 27.3 points a game against teams like the Lions and the Bears. You get the best receiver in football that will shred them in this game. To me, there's just too much offense for the Rams for Arizona to keep up. I'll lay the points.
dueling points there. Cole, got to get you in here because I know you have a lot to say on this matchup. Bring it strong with another right take here on the Rams and Cards. Who do you have? Break this tie for us.
Well, Lisa, Dave, Pony, I tell you what, anytime you can get postseason football extended into the work week, you can sign me up twice for that. But which Cardinals team are we going to see? The one that started off the season with a bang or the one that limped to the finish line? Well, either way, we know they smashed the Rams in week 4 by 3 scores, but they also, well, they treaded water just a little bit the second time they matched up versus them, and they let them get nearly 300 yards when it came to receiving numbers. Now, the wild card weekend, it's going to give both teams a chance to scout out the venue at SoFi if they do want to play for a Vince Lombardi trophy. In Arizona, one thing we know about this squad, they were the best road team in all of the league. 8-1 this season. I think it'd be a wise decision to pencil them in for a 9th one because we know what Matt Stafford has done recently. They call him Stat Padford for a reason. 27-20, go Cardinals.
I dig it. Thank you, Cole. Now let's nerd out on some numbers. That's what we do here. We're breaking down the NFL's next-gen stats to get an analytical perspective on this Cards-Rams matchup. Ed, you're our analytics guy, bringing you in here. Next-gen stats, which ones are you focusing on here to help us break down this game?
Well, I still have my concerns about Kyler Murray's output without DeAndre Hopkins, but it's still worth noting how he's performed with the rest of his motley crew. Here is Murray's quarterback grid for the season, and for our purposes, success rate means the proportion of times targeting that receiver that made it likelier Arizona would score points, given context. Christian Kirk had the highest success rate, as you would expect, with a solid 59.3%. Then comes A.J. Green at 55%. He had more than a dozen air yards per target. Pretty good average there. Next is tight end Zach Ertz, not as successful at 49.2%. Lastly, there's running back Chase Edmonds at only 34%. Running backs usually have lower success rates anyway, but even then you would hope for more out of that relationship. What might be surprising is if you take out the production by Cooper Kupp for the Rams, Murray pretty much has been the better quarterback than Stafford. The better quarterback is getting points, and I'm taking them.
All fair points. Thank you, Ed. Awesome stuff, as always. Next level info from Next Gen Stats. We do have more from Ed in a moment. Thanks, my man. All right, time to give some underdogs a little love here. You know how we roll. Cole, you've been rocking these money line money makers all season long, including picking the Steelers to win outright last week. So let's see if that success just keeps going here into the playoffs. Give us an underdog you think is going to win outright here in Super Wildcard Weekend.
Well, Lisa, how about this one? The first postseason matchup between these two teams, New England and Buffalo, in the Super Bowl era. Now, we know Bills Mafia, they're going to show up in droves, but Foxborough, just a 7-hour and change drive, 454 miles away. So the New England fans, they're going to turn up, no doubt for that. You have to account for those fans. You also have to account for Bill Belichick. It's tough for me to bet against him. And I see Mac Jones being the first rookie quarterback to win a postseason game since Russell Wilson. Patriots, they roll in this one, 21-17. Sorry, Bills fans.
Ooh, it's an interesting choice. Okay, Cole, I see you. And if you're a smart bettor, you're going to tail Cole's upset pick because he has absolutely crushed these all season long, no lies. But I totally respect if you do your thing. Right now, you can place your bets risk-free up to $1,000 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Just sign up for your new account. And if you're new, all of you new users will get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using this promo code WARWAYS1000. And it does get better on this show because our experts bet it for you. And Ed, first fist bump coming to you. Last week you had the Titans at Texans alternate total over 47.5. It hit. Your $1,000 risk-free bet collected $2,600. So I'm going to start with you. Give us your $1,000 risk-free bet for Wild Card Weekend. Where's your money going?
Well, I do believe that the 49ers are going to upset the Cowboys. So instead of taking a moneyline moneymaker, I want an alternate spread. 49ers minus 2.5. So I still get that key number of 3. $1,000 risk-free bet for $2,600. I'm
going to do an alternate spread in the same game, but I think the Niners get crushed. I'm going to say the Cowboys win by 2 touchdowns and the Bucs win by 2 touchdowns. 13.5 alternate spread on both of those games, and I'm getting back over $9,000.
On FanDuel, you can bet any team to win the Super Bowl. You can also pick a conference to win the big game, and I'm going to go with the AFC. Right now, I think they've got a better collection of teams. Derrick Henry coming back for Tennessee, the Chiefs and Bills, Joe Burrow, red hot. I like those options more than the NFC squads.
I like that. Something for everybody. Hey, gamblers, make sure to sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place your bet. And remember, use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy, it's legal, and it is live right now. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money back in site credit if you don't. And a nice warm welcome to New York, who just joined us. Be sure to use that promo code MOREWAYS1000. And it is the first week of the playoffs, so we have to get some Super Bowl predictions from our guys. Let's get right to it, you guys. I can't believe it's already here. The Packers are the betting favorite, but there are some other great teams on the board that would certainly lead to a big payout here. We asked former Green Bay wide receiver Donald Driver to give us his pick, and let's just say he may not be the most impartial expert on this topic. What you got, Donald?
I'm going to always go Packers. That's just always. I don't even care if they wasn't in the playoffs. I'm going to still say the Packers are going to get to the Super Bowl, even though they wouldn't even be in there.
Shocking, right? So yeah, Driver is taking the Packers. Let's get our guys' picks here. You see the odds there on the board. Dave, you first. Where do you find value here on this list?
I'm going to stick with the Rams. I think 10-1 is still a very good price on a team that does get to play a home game. Look, they know they're going to have to go on the road and win a couple of big ones, but the ultimate goal, like Tampa last year, they had to do it on the road, but they knew they get to come back home and host a Super Bowl if they can do that. I'm loving the 10-1 odds.
The biggest problem with the 49ers all season long has been Jimmy Garoppolo's health. When he is healthy, the 49ers have an outstanding offense with a phenomenal play designer. I think they upset the Cowboys. You're not going to get 21-1 again, so go ahead and pounce on it now.
Well, I think the Bills are the most complete team in the NFL. I mean, their offensive stats and defensive stats back that up. Plus, they've got a Super Bowl caliber quarterback who took him to the AFC Championship game last year. I love plus 750.
Yeah, and you guys already know what direction I'm going, because what kind of man would I be if I didn't stick to my word at plus 2,200? I'm going with Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. We talked about how they were slipping towards the back half of the season, but they did put up one heck of a fight versus the Dallas Cowboys. Expect to see that throughout the postseason.
They've got a fight with the Rams this weekend. Great stuff, you guys. From game picks to best bets, futures, DFS. You know how we roll. We've done it all season. We covered it all. The playoffs are here. You can bet it right now. Check out all the bets that we talked about on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get that risk-free bet up to $1,000. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you next week.